Oh, welcome back, everybody, from your Memorial Day weekend. And my only comment regarding that is, besides welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn, I'm Shawn, is remember that Memorial Day is more than a day. It's more than barbecue and beers. Um, don't forget the real meaning of it. And that's the real meaning of that is really more important than the real meaning of Christmas. So many families have suffered. And I don't mean just even the ultimate price that soldiers can pay in the battle theater or even just on base in day-to-day lives. We have millions of men and women that in a simple car accident in the line of serving our country uh, can affect and hurt many families. But also remember the ones that come back um, needing rehabilitation. There, that's a need that a family has to attend to all their lives, and the victim, so to speak, as well. So support them year round. As my father, who was in the service, and a son who is actively serving in a major capacity, um, I think of all the time, all the other men and women for their sacrifices. I didn't get the calling, but I'm certainly grateful for all those others that did to serve our country. Okay, that said, we've got a lot to do. Now, we did a What Am I? And I am so proud of everybody. And oh, I cannot believe how close we came to squeaking out a perfect score. First, let me show everyone and remind you what the What Am I's look like. Now, I went to start setting up some of them, but I realized that I didn't have all of them uh, easily. I wrapped them up and moved some of them around. So that was the end one. Remember, this was the first one. This is that Jeffrey mine. And remember, you got extra credit if you mentioned origin. So that was the grossular garnet, the peach pink color grossular garnets right there. And let me do that. Let me get my pointer, which here we go. Then the next one was that tourmaline piece, the tourmaline piece with lepidolite mica. This one was the Moroccan vanadinite piece. This was the Colorado amazonite, the Arango goshenite with the siderite crystals on the base, bicolor Ceylon sapphire crystal, brucite, wonderful rare brucite, incredible quality grade material here, facet grade quality in this particular specimen. And this with the pearl essence kind of botryoidal um, shape to the formation, that is how it basically is the crystallized form of it. Now, I threw in a genuine emerald, much easier to determine as an emerald than that one that got a lot of people last week as to whether it was the Savarite or whether it was an emerald. And it having the inclusion was really the tell if you were going to had to make a I guess if a determination if you did not have a UV light or a magnet, or maybe it was mounted, but a UV light would still have been effective. So it's good to know those things, but default if it's included always to the emerald if you don't really know. Then this one was the one that was the one that I wanted to see just how many I could knock out of a perfect score with that one, because I'm telling you what, I have a little cynicism to myself about that, because that was one of three beautiful green stones I offered, and I offered over and over again, reducing the price every time on the three, down to where I think I got the three beautiful, wonderful green tourmalines down to either $38 for them all or 40 something dollars. That was it for the three. And wow, okay, so when they didn't sell, I took another moment myself. I took another moment to just look at them, and there was something then that caught my eye, and it was the brilliance to them. And I thought, all I had to do for the other item I thought it might be was, and we had some great answers on this, but for me, the other thing I thought it was a zircon. And knowing if it was a green zircon, it would have, and I'm going to say the R word, which will probably send Latif running out the door, but it would have a radioactive signature. It's natural. It becomes metamic due to the radiation and that green color, sometimes so much so that they're a foggy type of color. These are natural green color. I had them recut long ago. Beautiful modified Portuguese ovals, stunning stones, and no longer the few dollars a carat that the others could have been bought for. So remember, even I could make an error, and I certainly did in that case, and offered multiple times for someone to really find a treasure. Then we had, after that, we had the wonderful. Now, those that said carnelian, I went ahead and I went along with and gave the answer to. But what I was really looking for was the Kentucky agate, But which is those of you that said carnelian. Carnelian technically is a similar to, well, a chalcedony, and but this color, and if you look at it of Kentucky agates, those mix of colors were very indicative of a Kentucky agate. But I wouldn't expect everyone to know that. So I accepted agate or jasper or carnelian. So a lot of you got it right on that. Now this one I hope tripped up a lot of people, but it didn't at all. Many of you really did well with that, with the goethite after pyrite pseudomorph in that nice rectangular crystal. Now this one, the black spinel cab, I'm going to show you that closer in a moment, from Kanchanaburi, Thailand. Those are mined pretty much alongside the Vopoi mine that I have ridden a motor scooter out to. Quite the adventure for another day. That went along with the party alongside the Mekong River and the Mekong whiskey. And then, last but not least, there is the, oh, my phone, is that what? Okay, so last but not least, which I don't have here, sorry about that. And it was, here we go. There, what does my phone, time me out or something? You're right, it is my phone. My phone time me out? What a stupid phone is that? These stupid smartphones. So that's what happened last time. I thought it was something. I forgot I was holding my own phone. It was my own problem.
But I was saying, that's your phone.
Wow, what a moron I am. No, I'm not a moron. I'm 65 years old almost. Oh, you're not giving me any credit for age? No curve, no grade me on a bell curve? All right, so this was the specimen that was really important that I wanted you to see. That was the one that kept everyone from a perfect score. Now, I don't know how to say this other than remember all those little barite and gypsum desert roses, they called them? And some looked like kind of roses. Others had more distinct individual crystals like this. All of them very much looked like the crystals were made up of sand. This is that wonderful Nika specimen I've been offering at a huge opportunity for someone if they want a stunning museum quality specimen. And this right here will tell you, look at the termination of that crystal, which is, of course, this is selenite. Selenite is a high quality type of gypsum. And if I could turn that one on its side, but you can see the crystal right there, how they terminate at an arrow shape. So, and have the flattened side crystals. Let me just turn that a little bit and show you how they are flattened, like the one that that you saw there. So there you have it. And those, that one at the end was kind of, well, we'll see. We'll continue in just a moment reading the comments. All right. So first we have from Miss Karen. Hello, Shawn and all. Enjoyed your show this week. Thank you for speaking about Memorial Day, its true meaning, and your family's service history. It's easy to forget the true meaning with holidays commercialized and geared for product sales. Hear, hear. Oh, those brookite specimens you've been showing are awesome. I have learned so much watching you show and tell these pieces, describing each detail so perfectly. Additionally, your cleaning and prepping steps are producing beautiful pieces. Perfection. For those of you that may not know, Miss Karen from Texas actually has made several trips, and I don't blame her, to Magnet Cove, Arkansas, where you can dig. What she dug out, she had no idea what she was actually digging. They were just clumps of something with what we called chickenite. It looked so much like fried chicken. It was truly encrusted in, we would call it Georgia red clay, but out there it's Arkansas red clay. And whoa, if I didn't have the technical equipment that I do, technical meaning expensive, steamers, ultrasonics, and then an array of chemicals you have to be knowledgeable to use so you don't destroy your specimen and remove what you want. It's still been a process of still picking out the little pieces. I have a couple more I'm going to showcase today as far as how far I've come along on them. But it is thanks to Miss Karen that we have had the trivia gifts lately, because that's how I've made it to where don't feel right to sell her specimens, right? But you can win them. And I'm going to make sure by the time we're all said and done that all of you regulars will have won something. But I am making a special, I guess call it announcement right now, or a special, let's say invitation, a special invitation to all of you who have not left a comment, let's say in the last year. All you have to do is Shawn@gems.com. Just say, hey, love your show, or hey, hate your show, or go get a tooth, or, whatever you may want to say. We'll know that you're a new client. Now, of course, you're going to win something, but to get that item, your address would have to be provided to customer service. But with your information that you leave, which would be your name and telephone number, of course, it goes nowhere else, customer service will contact you and send you a brookite specimen. Yes, I have decided that I don't have that many, but I think I could round up 10 pieces to the first 10 new. Well, I know a lot of you have watched the show and purchased, but maybe don't want to leave comments, which is fine. I am just welcoming you in to either play the trivia, but you don't have to. If you want a free brookite specimen, and here it is. Here's the little box that prepared with these that are completely cleaned, although they could be fine-tuned up with a little, I recommend a toothpick to go in and clean out some of those places that might still be left over. If you understand anything about brookite, boy, you will want one of these specimens from there. So the first 10 new, I invite new commenters. You don't have to say anything much, but hello, enjoyed the show, send me a brookite. That's it. Shawn@gems.com. And yeah, if you want to make further comments on top of that, great. I just want to let everyone know that you are welcome in this show at any level of your knowledge. And we want more of you to join. I'm tired of these same people, winning 10 prizes a year. Many have. So, yeah. Okay. Now, you saw the answers to everything. Let's finish up here with Miss Karen, who didn't even participate in the What Am I? Let's see what she has to say. I'm working on trivia. I'll send another email if I manage to get a few more answered. I'm still in the research mode, LOL, but will have to pause my efforts until later. Cheers for now. Miss Karen didn't get a chance to get back and answer any of those, but I always encourage those of you who want to even just a few. It's just for fun, okay? And in the end, like I said, we're all winners. Miss Gabby, who often opts out, but in this case, she did it, which I like. It makes it very competitive. She goes, hello, everyone. So excited to receive all my new ornaments. So she did get remember those slices from last week? And finally, someone purchased the beautiful emerald one from Crabtree Emerald Mine and one of the Lazio light ones from Graves Mountain. let me see what else. Anyway, what she does, I drill them and she hangs them on her year-round Christmas tree along with her painted round medallions in yellow pine wood. Ah, that Christmas tree. I tell you what, when she's done, I want to. If they don't do it, I want to get it entered into one of these. Um, there are these not competitions, but these things where you can enter just to win like a Fordham or something. But it's fun for these lapidary craft projects. And hers is going to be not only the painted pieces, but the actual sliced and drilled and hung pieces. It's going to be an amazing Christmas tree, and I want to lay claim to some of it as far as providing some of the things because, wow, I'm so excited that she's doing what she is on that. So okay, so she continues on. I will have a total of 8 new, and I'm going to get John to drill an appetite slice I got years ago from you too. So really looking forward to adding to the tree next trip up. Great job, Penny and Barb. If you hadn't brought up the inclusion, Shawn, my first thought would have been grossular garnet too instead of emerald. And that was on the what am I? And that was the tip, the clue I mentioned when describing those pieces. I mentioned how there was an inclusion in it. So that was kind of trying to help you out. Let's see. Boy, these what am I's give my old noggin a workout, but I love it. I think a lot of you enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing them as well. So she has, now remember the order. So number 1, she has Grosser the Garnet, and since I had a Grosser from you from the Jeffrey mine in Quebec, I'm going with that. Right on. Well done. The next one, Tourmaline with lepidolite, possibly Afghanistan. Let me check on the origin on that one. I have the Orongo one. There is that one. And then here it is. And it is from the Logman mine, Afghanistan. Afghanistan. So well done on that one. Vanadinite, my first thought for origin would be Morocco. You're right on that. Amazonite, probably Colorado. She's 4 for 4 for extra credit as well. Then I remember that Goshenite and Siderite. I almost purchased it a little while back. Don't remember origin. Maybe Pakistan. Oh, you almost came so close. It was Irango. Ceylon Sapphire getting it and origin correct. Number 7, Brucite. The one I have from you is from Pakistan. That would be correct. Pakistan on the Brucite. Number 8, Emerald. 9, I would have said Tourmaline, but knowing better, going with Zircon. Miss Gabby gets the Zircon correct on the greenstone. Well done. Back and forth on this one, but final answer is carnelian. That's on the leaf. Don't know origin, so saying Madagascar. No, good old Kentucky agate. But I accept the carnelian for an answer. Number 11, Goethite after pyrite. That would be correct for the pseudomorph. Number 12, the spinel, the black spinel. Number 13, the last one. So she has a perfect score so far, right? And 6 extra credits. She says calcite, final. But right after that, she writes, also considered gypsum. And of course, that was the right answer, was gypsum, because selenite is gypsum, or if anything in that, if you would have said sand selenite or anything like that, would have been the right answer. So she was that close. We have not had a perfect score. And remember, I started off with the what am I's with only like 5 or 6. Now we're up to 12 and 13. And because we're getting perfect scores of up to 10, 11, well, almost perfect, 10, 11, we're looking for that perfect score. This now, Miss Gabby got 12 out of 13 with 6 extra credits. Till next week, Miss Gabby. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. She says, hello, Rock family. Very enjoyable show, Shawn. Enjoyed it very much. What am I is exciting to do again? It strains my brain in a good way. So that's 2 of you. I love it. Miss Gabby and Miss Cindy, I love it that it is, that's what I want to hear. And that's the idea. Straining your brain, it helps you also remember. So she has Pakistani Morganite, a wonderful answer for the Quebec grossular garnet in that color range, but that's where you have to consider crystal shape. A morganite is a tourmaline, so yeah, so you're going to have a barrel. I mean, a morganite is a barrel, so you're going to have the particular six-sided shaped crystals to it, or the flat top terminations. You don't see the little rounded dodecahedron formation like that. So that would have told you on that it wouldn't have been in the beryl family, and something else. Number two, Afghani tourmaline and lepidolite mica. You have got origin and the extra credit. Getting both the lepidolite, right, and the tourmaline, and then the origin. Number three, wolfenite from Morocco. That would have could have definitely been a strong answer on that, but that was, and we've showed enough of these, the vanadinite piece. Now, remember, vanadinite has a particular set number of sides, 6 sides to it. Wolfenite, it can look really thin and tabular often, and usually 4 sides. It can have more on the corners that you don't really see, but not that thick either. But that was certainly a wonderful answer. Then getting amazonite right. Then aquamarine with black shoal tourmaline. So I gave you that one as a correct answer because that was the goshenite, and you have the extra credit did it wasn't correct. That was the siderite we were looking for, but it was tough. It was tough to tell exactly what color tone, whether that was perfectly clear beryl being goshenite or whether it was a lightly colored. So I took and accepted that as a correct answer. Then you have, let's see, next, sapphire, getting that right. Then brucite, getting that right. Emerald, almost wanted to say grandidiorite as it had a bluish tint to it. That would have been a wonderful, wonderful educated answer on that. And I just said to Raven the other day, I wish we had all the grandidiorites back that we ever sold. And we were the king of grandidiorite for a while, back even during the live show. So we have sold a lot of grandidiorite. I was able to get it in auctions before people knew what it was. They were putting up these auctions thinking that people knew what it was, the dealers, and there wasn't anybody out there bidding on it. They had no idea what it was. I was getting it, some of these parcels, and I'll tell you now because it's not possible to do that anymore. Everyone's educated, but this is like 10 years ago when it was first out. And I remember a 70 carat parcel came up of about 15 to 20, so good sized stones, faceted. And I don't know what they were expecting, but they didn't put a reserve on it. I put $20 on it. Someone put like 25. In the end, I went all out and bid $70 and won it. It was, I couldn't believe it. And I know that no matter what level of market the dealer, even if he was the one that owned the mine, that was like a buck a carat. He had to have lost money, and he had to be still crying about how stupid he was to this day. He, in his world, in his circles, Madagascar, where grandidiorite was rediscovered, everyone knows about it, right? So in his world, he's working around, they're familiar with it. They have stock of it. They've got their own grandidiorite they're trying to sell. But the world's a much bigger place than a localized area where he was at. So the buzz there may have been going on for months, but did it reach the American market? Did they know? Did it reach deep enough into, the auction sites, the eBays, the Etsy? No. The Pinterest? No, it didn't. It didn't. And I don't normally surf those, but I was surfing for grandidiorite, and I found it, and I found the place for it, and that wasn't the only one. I won, and I'll tell you that now because, yes, I made some money off of it then, but what I sold it for, it's worth much more, so I don't feel bad about my profit because the next guy, plenty of profit left, and I just wish I had it all back, but don't we all? So, but it was amazing that how the market wasn't aware. The market meaning, you know, even dealers that were surfing and all, they just really weren't that familiar with it. So knowledge can be a very useful tool in situations like that. Okay, so let's see, where did we leave off? Oh, the grandiddy, right? Yep, I hadn't talked about that even in a while. On next one, cornea pine, which is a excellent answer for that color green instead of the green zircon. Cornea pine would have been easily a color I could have said that it was if that was all there was to judge by, and because the colors of cornea pine in the green range run right in that range. So that was a really good answer. Next, the Brazilian carnelian on the Kentucky agate. So we accepted that. Hematite to magnetite. I love your choice of pseudomorph. So first, you recognize it as a pseudomorph. And then secondly, that you have it as two metal ores because that's exactly what it is, going from pyrite to goethite. So, you know, that's what I mean. Those are not guesses, folks. Those are educated answers and really darn good ones. Next one, Thailand black spinel. Ding, ding, ding. You got origin and the mineral right. Well done. And the last one, which tricked everyone, Starlight from Georgia. I can absolutely see where you got Starlight from for the answer. Miss Barbara. So that was Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania, wishing us all a great week. Miss Barbara says, hi, Professor Shawn. So anyway, that was 7 out of 13 Miss Cindy got, and with 2 extra credits. Well done. Hi, Professor Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. It's funny that we both had a mental block on what the original Pakistani 4 represented from way back in January 2022. But I think in addition to pink apatite, triplite, and sphene, the 4th is red zircon. Absolutely right. And if you all were watching last week, and I wish the Raven would have helped me out, but she wasn't probably following me. She goes, when I say, well, didn't you listen to what I was saying? Couldn't you help me out with what, you know, a word I was looking for? She goes, you talk all the time. She goes, so, you know, I don't particularly listen to every word you say. And so she's just used to hearing that kind of stuff. So, she's got a point. But let me tell you, when she did, if I can say it without crying, when she did come through for me, when I had gotten COVID and I was in the really deep thralls of long COVID, where I was really struggling, more so than now, for words that I've forgotten. And so she would sit off to my side and she would follow what I was saying. And a number of times she would just whisper to me the words she knew I was searching for. And that way I didn't lose my place. I didn't sound like the dummy that I felt. And so even now, having still remnants of long COVID, please forgive me if I do lose place, forget a word. Age is catching up with me too. And I guess she doesn't have to follow every word I say. She certainly came through when I did need it. And a number of times from me personally being embarrassed and forgetting a word when I felt much worse than now. So I actually came up with, so I can remember the Pakistani 4. That was what Miss Barbara coined, the 4 different minerals that I got from a Pakistani dealer. I bought the 4 different lots, and some of them were the basically the entire, because there was only at the elevation they mined most of the material. If you look at Gilgit, is above 10,000 feet. It's high up. There's about a 2-month mining season, they say, and 4 different minerals. A couple of them were the entire season's find, and so let's say if I buy everything a miner has found for, let's say, $2,000. I mean, for us, for months worth of work, you have to climb up there, climb back down, have all your provisions. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but for them, that's a tremendous amount of money. So 4 different minerals, and I have lately struggled as to what they were. So I have now created an acronym for them so I don't forget, and I'm going to make it so I hope maybe I need an acronym so I don't forget the acronym. So let me see. I wrote it down. STAS. STAS is it. S for, what was the S for? So I bought these 4 different really rare minerals, and all of you have gotten an opportunity to get in on them. And well, let me finish and go ahead. So in addition to pink apatite, triplite, sphene, and the fourth is red zircon. So for Stas, S for sphene, T for triplite, A for apatite, the pink apatite, and Z for zircon. That's how I'm going to remember them from now on. You enumerated them on the Great Gem Show this Christmas. That was the one I did with Asif. But I just turned in my DVR today for newer technology and thus lost my copy of that show. How could you move on to newer technology? I still have an 8-track. May you laugh. But the old synapses came through with the answer after all, I think. I got in touch with Miss Gabby about the slices for her tree, but she had happily already grabbed them. Fancy fibrous malachite specimen? I'm looking for the ones that look like eyes that move as you do that are from China. Yeah, those are cool. Very collectible. Here's a cautionary tale. Ooh, let's listen to this. I bought the lovely 1-carat purple spinel baguette 2 weeks ago. Everybody remember that? I perfectly do. It was a beautiful, and I'd shown it before, so I showed it again finally, and at a discounted price. It was the last time I was going to show it, so she was wise to get it. I got it. Sat in my comfy chair in the sunny window with the stone resting on the groove of my downturned hand to admire it. So let me show you what she's talking about. So she's talking about where almost all of us in the gem business use it as a automatic tray. We just will put the gemstone between the fingers like that. Okay, let's see where this goes. Oh, ho, ho. Turned hand to admire it, and oh no, sneezed. I saw the stone fall off my hand in slow motion onto my lap area, but no, nothing there. The only other place was eek down into the guts of my big recliner. Well, the insides of this recliner is now clean as a whistle, but sadly no spinel has popped out yet. I guess the blue men have it, and it won't reappear until they're done with it. Very possible. So here's hoping the lovely purple gem reappears at some point. The moral is, don't admire your tiny treasures over a lumpy surface. Duh. I could tell you stories over all these years. So, of course, there's an old Catholic prayer, and even other people say it because I've heard it. And it goes like this. And I think I've worn the words out as many times as I've had to use it. Dear St. Anthony, please come around. Something's lost and can't be found. And to us Catholics, St. Anthony was the saint of lost hope, lost items kind of thing. And sometimes it worked, most times it didn't. Worst case was not long ago. It was actually for Claude, the general manager of the founder of this company. I do their stone setting for it. And it was a super important job, of course. And it was a irreplaceable shaped diamond that matched another oddly shaped diamond that unless you cut two as a pair, there was no way you were ever going to find this shaped diamond that matched the one on the other side. It was a stone that there was no choice but to find. Those are the worst because the pressure is on. I can't tell you how cleaned up my shop got, my floor, the rug, everything. I always wore a pair of house slippers that were my favorite, so much so that I had worn out the sides of them and had worn out part of the bottom, but they never left the house. I had looked in them multiple times, felt everywhere in them, nothing, no stone. Multiple times. As you get more desperate, you look in the more ridiculous places where you say, there's no way that it could ever wind up there. Yeah, there is. You just don't see this invisible path that stones make through space. And I tell you what, they can go through walls. So if you calculated the amount of time, per hour that I would get paid cutting a stone versus the amount of time I spent looking for this stone, it has to be one of the most expensive, costliest gems to me ever. In other words, I've chipped or broken stones and had to replace them. That wouldn't even pale in comparison to the amount of value and time I lost. I thought it was hopeless, but there couldn't be a hopeless. There could not be an ending of I can't find your stone. That could not be the ending. It took a couple days because every day I had to just let it go as hopelessness sunk and the absurdity of trying to find it great. In other words, the places you look. I finally went back to what is the most probable. And remember, there is what's the name of that law? Not law, but that not Murphy's. It's the one that the most likely answer is the most probable one. What's that called? See, forgetting my brain, but I know you guys will tell me what that is, or I'll remember in a moment. So I went back to my night slipper, and it was my favorite night slippers, and I started tearing them apart. I didn't realize that to a cheap pair of night slippers, there were so many layers to the sole. There was actually a total number of 4 layers. Don't ask me how. I would have liked to have seen its little trajectory. First layer, nothing underneath it. Second layer, nothing. The third layer, that would be improbable, that was sitting right above. So you had the rubber sole, and then you had this layer above it. So if you're going down, it's the third layer. So between the rubber sole and that last layer, it was, I was pushing my finger down across the top of it, and all of a sudden I felt a little bump. And at that point, I literally stopped. I literally stopped because I felt that was what it was. That was what it was. And I just wanted to relish the moment of finding it. That's just the thing. Sometimes, the joy or the relief, all these emotions, and all of a sudden you might find something and it's over with. No, I wanted, just like discovering something in the ground, a wonderful treasure. That's what I was finding. And I wanted to relish that moment. Often when you find a treasure in the ground, all of a sudden you found it. And it's like, boom, the emotion's there before you even have time to actually enjoy it. And I sat back and I just kind of knew I was going to be tremendously disappointed if it wasn't. So at the point I finally wanted to confirm and peeled it back, and sure enough, there was the diamond. There was the diamond. And it was a moment that was worthy, and it was like an adrenaline moment because I allowed myself the pleasure of finding it. It wasn't a thing like, finally found it, thing. No, no, it was, wow, look at this great treasure that I have just found. So I know all about those moments. And Miss Barbara, you will find that when you need to find it the most, when you just need a pickup in the day, and you'll enjoy that. So, okay. As to the what am I? Now she's opting out because she won the other day. Pink Rossiter Garnet. Crystal face is too complicated for pink apatite or morganite. Well done. Tourmaline with lavender lepidolite from Afghanistan. Vertical striations rules out aquamarine. Well done there. Vanadinite from Morocco. Getting extra credit there as well. Amazonite. Well done. She's on a perfect score so far. Goshenite with siderite balls. Siderite crystals. Correct. Sapphire crystal. Correct. Brucite. Correct. Emerald correct. Next, the greenstone, too sparkly for moldavite, so olive green peridot or cornea pine. Great answers. Fantastic answers again on the cornea pine or the olive green color to peridot. Again, no, it was that really uncommon green zircon. Mookaite, carving from Western Australia, an excellent answer to that leaf, actually. Mookaite coming in some of those color ranges. But that leaf was only shown a few weeks ago in this show. So have to have some memory retention to pull that one out. Goethite after pyrite, getting the pseudomorph correct. Black spinel from Mogok thought orange peel was for obsidian and other types of glass. No. Mogok close, though it's from Kanchanaburi area of. And then the sand gypsum crystals, getting that one right. Well done. If so we have 11 out of 13 on that one. Sand gypsum crystals. Now, if I could just show you a couple things to clear up things. Let me and we have Chuck here. So Chuck, if we could just switch to the other camera for a moment, let me show them what we talk about when we talk about orange peel. Just that's a fine angle. You see the surface of the black spinel, those little flat areas. Now, that can occur if there's different hardnesses in a stone. Let's say you're cutting a stone, a conglomerate that has a lot of different mixed things. By that I mean like some of the chrysocolla, malachite, azurite pieces have with goethite and have different hardnesses in them, and you can have quartz and tourmaline in a piece you're cutting a cab, or like that emerald in the matrix of Crabtree mine material. Now, different hardnesses can create that, but the other thing is, in something this hard, it's really in a cutter lacking experience. So with experience, you know how to overcome orange peel like that. And in the case, if I was using a silicon carbide sanding belt, I would use a really well-worn sanding belt. So like 600 grit, except a well-worn 600 grit. If I was polishing it, before you would even get to polishing it, there should be complete smooth surface. So don't even go to the polish if you don't have those out. But if you're going to polish it, you need something that has not a complete hard surface, something that gives a little bit. So stay away from felt. Felt's too soft. Leather is perfect. So a leather band or a leather flat pad charged with diamond will work, or charged, because spinel is so hard, diamond is going to be very effective and faster for you than using any of the silicon carbide onto the aluminum oxide, because then you're talking about a hardness of 9, polishing a hardness of 8. Can be done, takes time. But anyway, orange peeling like that can happen with any hardnesses, and it is a error on the lapidary. Okay, that, and then let me see one other one. Oh yeah, this was the interesting one, where it was the pseudomorph. So a pseudomorph is a specimen where one mineral replaces the other. So goethite doesn't form in these cubic formations like that, but pyrite does. So what happened is that the pyrite was dissolved away, and in the meantime, goethite then came in and filled either the cavity that was left by the pyrite or replaced it a molecule at a time, like you see when we watch malachite replace azurite in those pseudomorph specimens. So anyway, I think a great bit of knowledge to be had from this batch. And then let me show you this one. You're going to get a chance not to buy this one because it's the largest of the bunch, but I am going to be offering the other 2 stones. Look at that. That looks so much like a green tourmaline. I was irresponsible. I only went by my visual. Look, yep, I know Latif agrees with me, and I deserve to be chastised. That is one I should not have done, the assume thing. You know what that is? Oh, I showed you last week, didn't I? I didn't. I take the machine to it. Did we do that on air? Did we do it on air? Okay, I did. Okay, yeah, so I showed everybody the count per minute. Oh, that's right. Latif walked out. Yep. So that's how we determined what that was. But let me tell you, everyone had the opportunity to buy a quarter for a penny kind of thing. I was giving them away. All right, let me put this away and let's get the show started. I'll be right back. Now, if you think I left out one of you out there, you're saying, oh, he didn't call me out. Nope, we didn't forget you. I am just a little, scatterbrained a little bit because of, well, lots of reasons. I'm a rock hound. Miss Penny in Quebec says, "Hello, Shawn, the very lovely Raven, amazing GSN crew, and fellow Rockhounds. I hope this finds everyone well. Thank you very much, Shawn and Miss Karen, for the book. I have to go pick up the package because I missed FedEx when they delivered. What beautiful specimens." So here she goes on the new What Am I type trivia number one. Jeffrey Mine, Quebec. Of course, Miss Penny is from Quebec. We should know that. And if you're wondering what that is on the screen, those are some of the prizes and items that were found by Miss Karen. So she gets the extra credit one right. 1 for 1 so far. The next one, Afghan greenish blue tourmaline and a little pitolite mica, getting the extra credit and everything correct. Number 3, Moroccan vanadinite, perfect score. 4, Amazonite. 5, Goshenite with siderite, extra credit on the second mineral. Number 6, Sri Lanka twinned bicolor sapphire, covering it all. Brucite from Pakistan. Wow, nailed it. And the extra credit. 8, emerald. 9, green zircon. Unbelievable. Perfect score so far. Number 10, agate. Kentucky agate. Wow. Okay. So she gets Kentucky. I don't know if anybody else got Kentucky agate right. That is amazing. Number 11, pyrite goethite. Nailing that one. 12, Spinel from Thailand. Number 13, she has a perfect score with 7 extra credits right now. So 12 of 13 has been won so far by Miss Gabby with 6 extra credits. Miss Barbara has 11 out of 13 with 2 extra credits. And the number 13 for Miss Penny, is it going to be a perfect score or not? Her answer is, despite all my research, she says, I just couldn't find this one. What? Not even an answer? I would have taken an educated, I'm not going to use the G word, an educated answer at this point. Anything that you might have thought, but a no answer. Come on, you could have come up with something. But anyway, we'll take that as a wrong. 12 out of 13 with 7 extra credits. Fantastic. And let me see. So let me finish. Another tough trivia game. Thanks for another great show. Faves of the week. Love the stillbite and amethyst specimens. Mahalis and I wish everyone a wonderful week and hope to see you next week. Penny and Mahalis. By the way, the Pakistani 4 are pink apatite, triplite sphinx, and red zircon. Yep. Thanks for reminding me, because I definitely couldn't remember that last one. That was one of those moments, yep, that I could have used a little whisper in the background. Okay, we have 12 of 13s. One with 7 extra credits, one with 6 extra credits. 12 of 13 with getting the Kentucky agate right. That is important, but I tell you what, those are 2 close of answers to and extra credits to not do the right thing and award you both the prize of winning. Miss Gabby and Miss Penny, let me show you what you have won. So it's going to be one of these 2 in front. Look at these. Look at these. So I definitely upgraded the prize based on how well you guys did. This has stunning, beautiful smoky quartz that they're found in. Look at these crystals. Nice, complete crystals with iridescence on them as well. Here is more. And there's a nice crystal face there. More of the black brookites tucked away. And when I mean tucked away, they can be tucked away in some of the deepest crevices. And here, this material is what is fun to pick out and clean up even more as you're sitting watching TV. Just start off using a toothpick or dental pick. Toothpick gives a little bit more, and you just got to make sure you don't break it off down in the little crevices. This is a wonderful specimen. Here is the other choice. I'm going to let the Christie keeper of the inventory just pick by random who gets which. This one has, oh, look at that. There is a twinned crystal right there. Has numerous black brookites with iridescence on them. As you can see, some blue. Wonderful, wonderful ones. And boy, I tell you what, the effort it took to get the material down to what it is. But you could further clean it up. Anything that is white can be picked out and improved upon. Now, so congratulations. One of you is going to win one or the other of those. Now, let me show you some of the two of the other pieces that I uncovered this past week. And this was one of the bigger ones out of all the chicken night. And you can see some wonderful crystallization there going all the way around. And then as we take a little poke in closer, you're going to see, let me get my little pointer. And again, it is in, look at this actual crystal right here. You have to look at the sides and to see exactly what you're looking at and which way it's oriented. But it's a very cool, and they have some unique habits, the crystals of quartz from that magnet cove area. And look at, you have crystallization all around. And then look at these, that's, you can see the crystal to that. And then the etching. But down in some of these etched pockets are these little microcrystals of brookite that forms in them. So it's kind of really a lot of fun to find those. So look at this crystal where you have, it looks like quartz and magnetite forming together. So this is, and then look at from side angles, you get some other beautiful, beautiful views. Now, one other one, this was the only other one that was significant this week. This took forever to get down to this point. You can imagine how that material must have stuck down to this. But you can see, look at the magnetites. And this is nothing but quartz crystals across the face. And anytime you see that little glimmers, a lot of those little glimmers are reflections off of the brookites. And look at these. Look at these. These, for brookites, I tell you what, Miss Karen, are amazing. You did amazingly well. And I can't believe they let people just go and mine these. It's basically too nice for most of these mines I see. What they're allowing you to actually find is really fair. I don't normally see publicly available mines that produce this much of the quality material, the target material that you're looking for. I mean, this is remarkable. I mean, I compare them to Mindat, you know, and these stack up every bit to the nice quality ones that, look at that. Look at that. So you have, look at that crystal on top of the quartz crystal. I mean, that's just stunning. And I've seen doubly terminated quartz is fantastic material. So this piece, look at that. I think I'm going to hang on to as part of my personal collection, and that's how a personal collection is done. You kind of keep usually the better material, and at some point later you share it, like I've done with so much of my other. Look at, all right. So just keeping you updated, and congratulations to both of you, Miss Gabby and Miss Penny, on your wow, almost perfect scores. All right, I'll be right back. Start the show. Something you have never seen before, and I'm not talking about the sphalerite, except maybe for the color of it. Look at this specimen. Look at this. This is neat. This is neat. This is neat. And I tell you what, if you want to hold a rock that feels really soft, like maybe like a baby's behind, it's because it's talc, you know. And until recently, and if we go actually back to, since you understand mineralization so much better, remember talc, you know, forms a series of minerals, and part of that series of minerals is asbestos. And so talc, I think in some ways they switched over to corn powder, or what is it called? Cornstarch, thank you. Getting away from using talc. And I don't know. We'll leave it up to the scientists. But I can tell you this: this, because of the talc, it feels so soft. Remember, talc is number one on the Mohs scale of hardness, and very cool. Now, let me show you something else. Look at these quartz. This is just not your normal specimen. This is a beautifully formed quartz crystal. Now, let me show you. If you're wondering what the lowlandite is, yeah, lowlandite. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. The silvery metallic metal that you're seeing reflecting here, that is the lowlandite. And I'll bet that you will be adding a new mineral to your collection, because I bet you don't have lowlandite. Very few people do. Now, with this specimen also comes a information sheet that I have put together for you. So with the description about it and what kind it is, and then you can see by my handwriting that that is actually handwritten by me. The system, the type locality, the Wolf Mine in the Lowling Mining District. Now, if you're wondering, I don't know if they call that an umlaut or whatever that is over there, but the pronunciation is lowlandite, and it is a iron arsenate. So that gives you, along with the other information written, a lot more info than you would normally have on something like this. And that, with having 4 different minerals in one piece, you should have some info on it. All right, so this sits wonderfully, self-displays perfectly at this angle. Look at that, showing off the key piece, which is a twinned. This is, by the definition of twin, meaning a shared crystal face, a twinned sphalerite crystal here. Then look at this, you have another well-formed sphalerite here, quartz along with lowlandite. And you know what? Let's get a closer view, since that's something I like to do anyway. When I get here, I love looking at the big monitors and Chuck on the camera and these super expensive lenses, and I don't get to do this at home. Let's take a look. And Chuck, work your magic. Let me put a little light on the subject there. Look at that as he fixes up the light on it. And then if you just come down a little on the, there we go. And I will focus, move this to focus. Okay, so you get to see the crystal form that the lowlandite actually forms in. So look at that. That's unique in itself. And thank you, sir. Now let's look at the rest of it. And as we tour the piece, you're going to see some other treasures. And let me show you. Look at that. Yeah, it doesn't end just with that side. You have, look at this. Look at this. Look at these skeletal impressions left from where a crystal was and had popped out. Here's some that are still in there. Now, you can always remove these if you want. And I say that because some people, for fun and to get an individual quartz specimen, maybe they want to make a piece of jewelry out of it, or for whatever metaphysical reasons and whatnot. Yeah, you can see that this specimen has been prepared anyway, and you can see some of the work where they've cleaned out and around the crystals to expose what they want. Look at these others though. These are some really nice, unique shapes and additional. Look at that additional sphene. And I love, look at that, the negative impressions where other ones were. Yeah. Like, oh, it does look like a Superman shape. It does, absolutely. So look at the way these, now remember, these are embedded in talc. I could probably pick these out with my finger or with the edge of these tweezers at the most. So, but to control it, it would just take nothing but a simple fine screwdriver to be able to extricate these. Or let's say you want to clean off some of the surface material over the top of quartz. That is all perfectly acceptable in the specimen world. There is hardly a specimen of any great value you will ever purchase that has not been through some type of specimen preparation or cleaning. So look at this. So you have lowlandites really all around that. And then look, a wonderful quartz on its own. This piece, you can have fun by preparing it further yourself and, pulling away the material from, look at, there's another screen. And it's fun because it'd be talc and it would be really easy for you to do. Really easy for you to do. How neat is that? And worst case scenario, let's say, oh, the crystal falls out. Well, it leaves a perfect impression, which is neat in itself. But you can also then goop it back on if you want. It's not the worst case scenario. Now, if this piece was $1,000 or $1,200, maybe. It also, though, is going to come with, there you go, look at that. Along then with that sheet of information. So this is uh, an item that you can learn from, that's fun and easy to show off, that someone can hold it in their hand and actually get the feel of talc, which very few people do. I'm going to let Chuck hold it in a minute just because he may not ever get a chance. It's a completely different feeling than the rough coarseness of a rock. Okay, here we go. I have this. I picked this up at an amazing, amazing opportunity, and I can offer it for only $117. $117 on that. Take advantage of it. All right, now let me keep moving here. I have some really neat goodies. And this is one that I already mentioned to you I had coming. Item 1266125. 1266125. Now, we talked about the opportunity. I even showed you the gem tube that those 3 tourmalines came in, right? Yeah, tourmalines. Ha. Wow. This is where, again, using just visual knowledge, I blew it, but it doesn't mean you had to, because when I put them up there in the What Am I, there were some of you that got it right, that got green zircon. So therefore, you have that level of knowledge beyond what I even said. So yes, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a green zircon. Let me just put it right there for a moment, and I'll get a better look at that for you here. Let me put up this paperwork so I keep it in good shape for the specimen, which is always important. And, you know, uh, provenance and information is a lot of the value to mineral specimens. So, where it came from, what particular mine it came from, as much info as you can gather. And then keeping it, retaining it, that all matters. So that's why I'm stopping and taking a moment to do this correctly so that it gets back in its little bed of material, to protecting it, and the information sheet that will go along with it won't arrive to you all beat up, because I tell you what, gem shopping shipping department is one of the best ever. Could you move these rocks off of here, please? Now, let's go back to this. Look at this. Now, when you are looking at this, you're going to see that all of a sudden, wow, yeah, you're right. That has a lot more brilliance. Remember, the thing about zircons is their refractive index is higher. Now, here's a thing that you may not know, and we've talked about it before, but maybe you forgot. There's a low and a high zircon. And low zircons have low specific gravity, a lower refractive index, and hence lower brilliance, and also, most cases, a lower hardness, as opposed to the high zircons. Now, high zircons are your blue zircons. Your red zircons, if you've ever noticed, your red zircons do not have as much brilliance or life to them as a blue zircon. And that is because they are red zircons, along with green zircons, considered in the low zircon group of the family. Look at the cutting on this, though. Let me show you the back. You can see that that is a modified Portuguese cut by the number of facets on that, and the brilliance in general. Now, you know, if you needed any proof, there's only really the best thing you can do. Oh, there goes my graphics, man. Is all right. So you see here, and if you'll just follow me there, Chuck. All right. So here's the ambient radiation in the room. Everyone needs one of these, except quite not like this one. This is uber expensive and uh, can measure real accurately a lot of different types of radiation. So we all have radiation, whether we like it or not. It's all around us all the time. So it usually measures 30, the count CPMs right there, counts per minute, 30 to 60 in a normal environment. Well, what makes this abnormal is the fact that there's a zircon sitting here. Zircons, remember, you should know this, are the oldest gems on the planet. They use them to date different types of rock formations to see how old different formations across the planet are. And so they're a very critical gem for that reason. So as we put this over the zircon, let me put it right over the zircon. If we just put that right there, he's counting. And then let's see what kind of a reading we get. So it traveled outside of its comfy zone, out of our comfy, yeah, and it keeps going. All right, but wait, we're gonna level. It's good. We're gonna level it off. We'll level it off here. So, okay, so we're gonna talk about these numbers in a minute. All right, now let me put it on my. Let's see just how high we can get. Which we put it right here. We put this right in the middle of it, and then yeah, you're not gonna like the sound of this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So you're safe. It's less than 400 counts per minute. There's nothing wrong with that. So you see it right there. And let me show you what it's being measured by. It's being measured by that right there. And it doesn't lie. It's super, super accurate. You know, it's one of those things, you know, is it heavy? Yes. Then it's expensive. Put it down. I'll never forget that line. Jurassic Park. And so to give you a relative idea of what that is less than many other. Zircons is one of those. Okay, forget that number. It is so low relative to any kind of dangerous level that it doesn't. The only reason I'm bringing it out is it's a way to tell what something is in the family of greenstones, where it's the final say. If it's this green, believe me, the only other gem would be econite. And those of you, I think it was Matt that was wise enough to get the econites, and then it's funny we haven't heard from Matt. Huh. But luckily Matt got a Geiger counter along with it, because econite in this size would be 3,000 to 4,000 counts per minute. So it would be in this color range, but it would be much higher. This is perfectly safe. 2-3 times this is perfectly safe. A lot of things you don't realize, like megalodon shark teeth from Florida, are radioactive. A lot of people don't realize things like that until they're shown. But what a gem. You want a nice collector stone? I have this available at an opportunity that that cracks me up. He says free. Latif, the only time, believe me, Latif would never say free unless it's something he really wants to get rid of, because that boy knows how to make money. Except with these, it's like giving away $77. $77 is giving that away. That is $50 a carat. And let me tell you, that the only better buy than that was when there were 3 of them for sale as tourmalines, and I think all 3 were, I'm just going to be honest, 3 for sale for like $48, and still nobody bought them. And that was a shocker. So it was literally during the show last week when I discovered and thought to put the Geiger counter on them. All of a sudden it hit me. So there was every chance in the world that any one of you could have like, that's a good deal, even if they're tourmalines, but they look a little more brilliant. Shawn could be wrong, which every possibility, and I just proved and admit that Shawn can and was wrong. That so go with your gut instinct, because your gut instinct would have just made you a considerable amount of money if you bought them as the tourmalines. Now, what I'm offering these for, these are natural color. Don't be fooled. If you go to the internet and look up green zircons, your majority, almost, I mean, I'm telling you what, rarely right now could you ever get a green zircon that has not been artificially enhanced. Remember, it is they're created by radiation, right? The green ones are. So to artificially radiate them, you can't really tell, but wait, yeah, you can tell. They are like perfect color. They are perfectly clean. They don't have any of the metamictization that you should see in a natural green zircon. And so if it's too good to be true by way of price, then that is your best way to tell, because I saw these and what they were being offered. There was no way that they would sell something that far below the market. Let me show you one more. You get a chance at the other one. I'm keeping the big one, folks. This is item 1266 125. 12, I just said that, right? So this is a number let's see, what weight? Carat 54. And what was the weight of the other one? I might have, why would I have both numbers? 1266. Oh, there it is. 12. Yeah, I see it now. So I gave you the 61 and a 62. Yep. So that's right. So 1262 125. And wait, 1266 125. Okay, and that's what you have up there, right? The 154. Right. Okay, so I put them in the wrong, again, my fault. So the other number is 1266 225. Yep, there we go. And it should be the carat 90. Yep, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there just for a moment so you can see the size difference. And yep. Oh, of the 12.6. Okay, hold on. Let me show that to you on. Oh, okay. It's a carat 97. Okay, here it is. Here is the two. Now everybody remember those all together matching. Okay, what started also, you see that little kind of brownish tint to it? That was another thing that kind of made it start looking not so much like a tourmaline when I really started looking at these closer. But again, look at the cut. Tourmalines are cut with big bellies. It's due to the dichroic nature of them. They are not cut. Look at that. That is a modified Portuguese oval. Look at the low angles. Tourmaline would not be cut like that. Look at how beautiful and unique that is for a natural color green zircon. But the ones that are artificial, they don't have any of those secondary colors of that like brownish color. They're like perfect. And so this is a gem. I'm talking about a really beautiful gem. Now remember, it is not just blue zircon that is the December birthstone. It is zircon. So if you're looking for a special blue zircon, and really, believe, I don't want to spook anybody. Blue zircon, the CPM count per minute is actually higher than these. So don't be thrown off by the fact they're radioactive. I think that trait is a unique and kind of fun part to them. And by way of being relatively, like if you have any fear, that number is super, super low. So no worries, do a little research if you want. But if you want a really rare gem, here you go. Here is another one, and I'm offering it for the same ridiculous opportunity of $50 a carat, making this one $98. $98. And I tell you what, I'll keep them all at that price if they don't sell. I'm already keeping the big one. I mean, I may sell it at some other point, but look at that. Okay, you see how you have some greenish, and then you also see that you have some yellowish colors. Then you also have some brownish kind of tints coming in, and that's kind of what I've seen in some of the zircons. So take advantage of that. Now, let me show you. Here is a chance to get one of the what am I's? Item 1242325. 1242325. Check this out. Here we go. Now, this is the one that, of course, we talked about, and what you want to look for to make sure to separate it from any other minerals is the dodecan shape, that geodesic dome. Now, what makes this really special as a geodesic domed garnet is this particular striation, this particular pattern, which is really desirable in these garnets. And look at that. Look at then all these other small ones that are on the face of this. Look at these. These are spectacular. And remember, picture this as like if it was the green Belkis mountain demantoid, the Iranian demantoids. I mean, they'd be stunning sitting on here. Well, same thing, just a different color, those wonderful peach colors. And this is such a mineralized matrix that they're in. No telling what else you could probably find in that. But this really self-displays magnificently and has a very, very desirable form to that garnet. So also, it has diopside, and there is beautiful orange fluorescence with those garnets, like so much Groschler does fluoresce, and these will for you also. I have this, and I guess I'm going to sale price it since I showed it before. Let's mark it down to only $44 now, and just take advantage of me because that's a super opportunity. Now, I saw one more I wanted to show you. Here it is. It's item number 1243625. 1243625. And if you were looking to maybe collect some items from the Jeffrey mine, here's another one you can add to it. And these are fantastic. Now, also, Mr. Anthony, he is collecting the garnet family. So this would be a great item for him to add to his collection as well. So look at this. Look at this one. We'll move that to the side for just a moment. Look at this. Now, talk about beautiful coming from the Jeffrey mine. And that is a treasure. A treasure, because the contrasting colors are gorgeous, and we'll look a little closer at that in just a moment. They both go in here, and look at that, Groschler and diopside. So on this other specimen, okay, if you wonder where the diopside was, okay, it's going to be these little tinier crystals that you see, these little whitish type of crystals. And on this one, you can really see them because they're the big, oh, I don't know, what would you call that? Lightish yellow green, super light yellow, I don't know, but anything that's not the incredible. Look at these. Look at these tucked away. These incredible Groschler garnets. I mean, they are looking like the speciertines from the Wushan mine that are with the smoky quartz pieces. Instead, this is made in Canada at the Jeffrey mine. Is the Western Hemisphere's one of the most revered mines for specimens. Many different specimens have been found at the Jeffrey mine. Very prolific, wonderful place. I would love to go to. So here's the back of it. You can see even more garnet material, more diopside material, and wow. So let's see. I think that, yeah, that self displays beautifully just like that. And I can't believe this didn't sell the first time. So round. So someone must be meant for someone, and at a discount because of goodness. Okay, so I'm just seeing what I had offered this at, and no one took advantage of it. So I don't know what to make of that, except to give you another incredible opportunity at only $68. $68. And remember that I had two collections, the Made in America collection, and then the other was Everything Garnet, my birthstone. And that was one of them. And now I really think that is a priced well below what the market would view the value of a piece like that that is so beautifully crystallized and beautifully formed, especially those diopside crystals. So take advantage of that. Now, let's see what we have next. I have kind of a grab bag here as I reach out here, because I have a little bit of everything, items you've never seen before, items that you should have bought before, including this one. Oh, this one I couldn't believe. No one got it. 126 24 25. 126 24 25. This is one of the most magnificent collections that is affordable in a small size. Look at these. Look at these. Mexican fire opal. Except this is well, let's open this up and just take a look. 3 stones, carat 12, 2 matching outside stones, and beautiful. Really having very much the color of mandarin garnet, of nice mandarin garnet. That's how well faceted those are. Look at those. And then look at this. Now, there's something I thought about this that went beyond just fire opal. Maybe I was imagining it. I thought one had maybe some play of color, which would excel the value of this tremendously. And sometimes it's just not viewed until you get it at the right angle. But I tell you what, better for me not to find it and just leave it priced at a discount. But that's a wonderful mix of the 3 stones, the 2 matching. Of course, you could do them any way you want. If you wanted earrings, or you know what, most of my stones, I thought I had gotten them as part of a future projects, but in the end, what I loved was just having them in my gem tube box and collecting them and being able to get out the stones and look at them all in the gem tubes. And it was very satisfying just to have them like that. So anyway, I am offering these at a phenomenal opportunity, and $24. I kid you not, $24. That's a chance for an opportunity for anyone who really want to get a well, October birthstone. It can be precious opal. It can be this opal. Doesn't have to be regular, what everyone think is opal. Think out of the box if you don't like your normal opal. Item 125 4825. 125 4825. This is the one I was talking about the other week when we had the What Am I up, and it was the grossular garnet that was from Mexico that some of you very clever folks knew. And I based everyone being able to figure out what that crystal was because it was after I showed this specimen. This is phenomenal. And look at, there you have those grossulars right there. The raspberry grossular to me is one of my very favorite colors, specimens, crystal shapes of grossular. It is a impressive color, and they have just a impressive look to them. I haven't seen any faceted, but I am sure there are some of that quality somewhere. Look at these. Look at these crystals. And then see these? This is what I wanted your memory to go on to figure out the color of the others. Now, granted, they are a little bit different form. Look at that one's a little bit more traditional. These, look at these unusual shapes. Well, that's because those aren't garnets. That's the Vesuvianite. That's the Vesuvianite. Another name being Ida craze. The color is similar to that grossular I showed you though, but look at how well formed these are. And then look at the neat center though to the grossulars. That's really different to form around that color. Look at everything going on here. This specimen has, look at this. This is 360 degrees of beauty. Look at those. And the Vesuvianites are phenomenal. This entire specimen is phenomenal. And just waiting for the right collector. Because if I put this up in a regular auction, because it's so, look at this, so aesthetically attractive and gemmy, it would just, the price would just keep going and bidding up and up and up. And you know, things like this are what do it. Look at that, the gemminess to that. And like this one, so I want to just put the light a little bit behind this. Just follow me here. Look at that. Look at that. That looks every bit as gemmy if I had that, you know, on a Mogok ruby. Look at these. That, wow. Look at that. Look at the translucency. So I was surprised, but you know, this will get this chance, and then I don't think I'm going to offer it again. I mean, look at that. Between the Vesuvianites and the gemminess that's why it gets the world-class recognition. So there's a name to that type of grossular. It's called rosalite. Another name actually given to it called rosalite. Now, I will discount this because I do that if it doesn't sell the first time, but I had already offered it at a phenomenal opportunity. So we don't have far to go. I was glad to see that somebody very wise, not sure who, picked up that stunning still bite and specimen I showed last week. That was that cabinet quality, beautiful form and color in those clear apopholites with the still bites. Stunning specimen at a fraction of what it would normally sell for. So glad to see it. This one only $328. $328. I mean, every bit of it. Look at how large that is. In the mineral world, that normally doesn't get you very far. But at Shawn's discounted bargain bin, where I've had that and don't even know the value of it now, yeah, that is well below the price. All right, let me take a moment and clean up my little mess around it, and I'll be right back. Go, he says. Go! Multi-generational growth, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Chrysocolla and malachite, Katanga copper crescent. Now, what that is, it's not a mine. That's actually an area that the formations of copper form a crescent from above. It extends for miles. Now, multi-generational growth is what you're looking at, okay? This is some of the finest color in chrysocolla you can hope for. But then, look at this. See those little dots? Those are additional growths of chrysocolla afterwards. But then before, look at this. You have layers. One of them being malachite, And you go a little deeper, you probably have heterogenite down there. Look at the other side. Look at all those little additional growths that can be explored and looked at back into the cavern. This is a stunning opportunity. That is, boy, you put, look at that, look at that. So that's a small cabinet size specimen. You can see, look at the quality, that gorgeous color blue that you can see right there that is so desirable. But look at the layers of growth. I see 1, 2, 3, probably 4 different generations and stages of growth in this piece. And I have it at a huge opportunity, making this one only $115. $115 on that. Now, let me keep going because, yeah, he's going to boot me out. He's already warning me. Item 12578. Let's see, 1257825. Telling me it's all my fault because I can't see and I'm reading the numbers wrong. 1257825. I have something that should be scooped up right away. I watched a couple of these go for auction in some crazy prices, and they weren't even nearly as nice as this. But let me show you something neat. Look at the colors. Look at Mother Nature. Isn't that something? Isn't that Mother Nature? These are unadulterated. These are not, okay, picture these in your display cabinet and showing those off. Tell me that would not get attention. What a beautiful, not treated, not changed by man at all. This is the way these came out of the ground. So there's your chrysocolla. I'm going to remove that. We're going to focus on this piece. Wow, look at this, double-sided. You know what it takes for that to happen? So see this portion around here is what it looks like. This would have been attached to the wall like this. There would have been a void space above this and below it, allowing enough room for those crystals to grow. And then, you know, in extraction, this is the contact point to its the mother wall, so to speak. So to get a growth on both sides is extremely rare. You can actually see it coming over the edge right there, and then with extra depth with that formation. Look at this. Look at this. You can see that growth. That is breathtaking to someone like me. Okay, so you have this built on feldspar. This is from the Shawn mine, the world famous spessartine mine, finest for these specimens in the world, bar none. This is mandarin color. This is the good stuff. This is what you want. Cheap Shawn is actually going to supply a little, now it's not much, but it's a folding stand. But look, it's, quit laughing at me. At the prices I'm charging, you're lucky to get that. This actually supports itself and self-displays, which I always like, but it double-sided, you know, it almost just needs to be spinning around on its own. This, I won't even go and tell you how much this would have sold for. So remember, spessartine is the manganese garnet, and it will be magnetic. So if and the type locality where it's really found, Spessart Mountains, helping give it its name, the Spessart Mountains in Germany. So very cool piece, very cool piece. And like I had mentioned the other day, by the way, if you come across spessartite, don't get confused, because spessartite is a lanthrophyre, which is a igneous, a hydrous silicate igneous rock. So yeah, if someone asks you, even though spessartine often still is represented as spessartite, but if someone says, do you want a spessartine or you want a spessartite? Go with the teen every time. That'll get you the gem. The other, you'll be Charlie Brown. You'll get a rock. This specimen, opportunity of a lifetime. I am not going down on the price. It is well below the market, but you can still get it at the deal that it is, $168. $168. There's just some things that, you know, you reach a point that it would be crazy to offer anything less, as fantastic as that is. And I tell you what, that will probably be the last time I'll even take the time to offer it, because it has It has hit its number of times to be viewed. If it's not sold within that, then it is meant for me, is the way I see that. Let me show you. Oh, wow. What is this beauty? Oh, yeah. Item one. Oh, man. This is 126 5925. 126 5925. I know this piece because we have enjoyed this for years. And there was, out of the ones we got when we got a batch about 10 years ago of this material, there was only one like what I'm getting ready to show you. And we kept it and enjoyed it. And now I'm willing to share it. Look at this. Now, they call this, some call it, spaghetti quartz, straw quartz. This is an amazing piece because of, look at that, the doubly terminated still bite. And this will, on a perfectly flat surface, I believe, balanced just right, will self-display. I'll lean it a little bit against there. If you put a little sticky stuff on it. But look at that. We'll just, yeah, there we go. Look at all the sides to this. And let me get my pointer. Look at how that still bite right there is enveloped. Look at the quality of the druzy quartz. That is really, really good stuff. Then look at this little still bite. It got enveloped completely. And then there's another one barely showing. It has been enveloped. There is one coming out there. Look at that. This is twisted. To put one descriptive word to it, I had not seen any one of these with so much style, and it is fantastically rare, actually, to get a piece that looks this dramatic in this material. And remember, this is Mumbai. Those mines that are right in the city, they are all closed now due to the dangers of the children. They're shacks more than homes. But for those people, they are their homes. Go right up to the edge of these plunging quarries. A lot of danger involved. A lot of danger involved with them trying to make an extra dollar or two, trying to find this material and collect it themselves when the quarries are closed, etc. So here is a really beautiful piece that can be displayed sideways, any way you want, and you'll see different little creatures in it too, as is mostly the case. So I am offering this. There's not another one like it, and only $88. Only $88 on that, and that is a really great treasure. I love the mix of the zeolite along with just quartz, but quartz in a form that you just don't get to see. That is a treasure. All right, now let me put away a couple of these things here. Okay, next, since we're no, so much to do. Here we go. What do we have here? 118-6924. 118-6924. And just get it. Take a look at this. What have we got here? Look at this. Again, specimens like this are what is really appealing in a market. It's because aesthetically, look at that. You have the form of this unusual form of muscovite. You have, look at that, crystal clear quartz crystals that are dominant. They are just sticking up and away. Look at that, from everything else. And then purple fluorite, just off to the corner, like it was planned, like you didn't want it to be the center of attention, but off to the side to be noticed when the eyes wandered there. See, I was wanting to get that light across there because that's what I wanted to show you was how the it's a phantom. It's a wonderful phantom type of growth, and you can see that by seeing the light all the way across the surface. That you have the internal inclusions. So that's gonna. I'm leaving that for you to explore further. It is twin. Oh, it is a. Look at this. This is a one of the most desirable twins. It's called a penetration twin. You can see right here where one goes within the other. As I catch the light on the bottom one, where is that light reflection off of there? You can see how perfectly, let me get this, how perfect you actually, yeah, see these are just two crystals. And this one penetrates that one, or however way you want to view it. And there we go, really desirable because of that aspect. And really rare and unique. I didn't even look at this as well as I should have. I see almost what looks like other internal inclusions of minerals in there. There could also be water, which I really should have looked at for that. I'm not going to now, because if I did, then it'd be different. Look at that. What is that? That is neat. This came from a tungsten and tin mine. And you have other, it looks like an internal formation inside that quartz. This piece is one that you can look at for, I saw pyrite. So where, okay, here we go. Here's your pyrite. Here's pyrite to be looked at back here. And then, uh-oh, what did I not figure that to be? That, this is, see, this is where I have to use my knowledge. That is, yeah, that's a pyrite. You're right. That's a twinned pyrite, a penetration twinned pyrite with what's that crystal on it? A maybe feldspar. Look at that. So yeah, you're right. That's a pyrite, twin pyrite with, it looks like a maybe a feldspar crystal on it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to knock that off. That is an extra treasure, well picked out and figured out there by, because I couldn't really tell, but Latif got it right on the pyrite. And how unique, how unique. So two penetration twins, stunning. Stunning specimen. Look at the muscovite formations, and the muscovite is translucent. I mean, that's beautiful, 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 beautiful. And this really is an opportunity for someone to get in on an amazing, amazing specimen. Is that what it was? I tell you what, I saw sale price. He said it was $98. I'm going to do this. I'm going to offer this one for only $68. I know, $68. If it doesn't sell at that price, I'm not selling it. That's it, $68, final price. And I know. There is no way, if I put that up in the auctions that I look at, with the fluorite and all that, you know what? That was stupid. I guess I can't take back the price. Easily, 168, 268, you name it. People love fluorite. Look at what's over here. There's something else over here on the edge. And they love the combinations of minerals. That could be sphalerite. There's so new stuff to be found on this. Discover it. And if I could, I'd change that price right now. You are absolutely right, especially if there's a water bubble in the fluorite that I haven't checked out. Then I would be infuriated at my stupidity. Let me look at the next number. Item 126 6425. 126 6425. And this is a beauty. Yep. I haven't shown anything like this in a long time. This will get your attention. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's a beauty. So since we were talking about Democratic Republic of the Congo material, which we were, here is another specimen from that grand country. And this is a beauty. a real beauty. As a matter of fact, Raven has a gorgeous pendant that is that cobalt twin calcite and has just one little very cool speck of malachite on it, and it looks really neat that way, and really neat. So I have to get you the paper on that. Look at this. Look at this. Now, look at those crystals. Those are crystals on crystals, and oh, great camera work. What a lens. I love that thing. Oh, that's amazing. Nowhere else on the internet can you ever, in any podcast, get this kind of camera work. You get they're using their cell phones, and even those little cameras are cool and good. Nothing like this. So you can actually see the individual crystals of the malachite. So remember that fibrous malachite we saw last week? Well, that is the fibrous growth separated, where you get to see more of the individual crystals. But look, during that time, what is formed in between is additional calcite. So again, another multi-generational growth. It's obvious that you had the cobaltoin calcite. That is calcite with cobalt in it. And it's not allochromatic. It's actually as part of its formula. So instead of just CaCO3, calcium carbonate calcite, it's CaCO CO3, calcium cobaltoin calcite carbonate. So you have a new mineral, and it grew. Then you had malachite. Then you had another layer of calcites, and you can usually tell by those little triangles that you see. Look back in that, and then look at how thick this material is. Oftentimes, they'll polish this material if it's not well crystallized. This is well crystallized. Look at those layers. Look at the thickness to it. Then look at the matrix to this. This is beautiful in itself. And what am I seeing? Why am I seeing these little moonstone type reflections? Look at that. I believe, look at that. Yeah. So we are getting, it looks like maybe a moonstone reflection off of, a feldspar. Look at those. Out of, that is neat. That is some really, normally matrix oftentimes can be boring, but it doesn't appear that that is the case. Let me check one other thing. You see when I see this yellow over here, kind of off by itself without it being somewhere else? There's something that often is yellow, that can have a signature. Let's see if this has a signature. Okay, no, you're safe. We don't have to, no. Wow, okay, so, no, and that's what's nice. Totally safe on that. Because a lot of the uranyl oxide minerals will have kind of a yellowish look to them, and there's a lot of different names. Look at that pink to that. So this piece, anyway, I gotta go into so much cool stuff. This one, only $58. Only $58 on that. Now, next, I have a sale. Item 1257125. 1257125. This item being sale priced. I want everyone to get in on the Vivianites. Look at this. Look at that. And I'm going to show you that. Let me put that in a white tray for you. It might help you out a little bit on the color. And wow, that is very attractive. And I have that at a really good deal. And that would make it, ready? $24. Yep, $24. And let me show you, look how thick that is. Okay, so that's a really thick piece. And if you want to have fun with it, you can cleave it. You can split that. You probably would be able to do it. And remember this Vivianite coming from a bog, low oxygen bog, it's clear until it hits the air. And then, yeah, look at that bicolor streak down the middle. And then it'll turn green, greenish blue. This is a really nice specimen all the way around, especially for not a lot of money from a, now probably the only claim for that kind of material in that area. Let me show you next. Item number, oh boy, item 1265825. 1265825. And I have something from Georgia I have something that is pretty neat because it's a fantastic look for a specimen. Look at that. Look at that. With those lazulites just very attractively situated in that quartzite type of matrix. And it is, you could actually polish across the face if you wanted. It's pretty neat to leave it just as it is. It's also something that could be tumbled successfully. And you guys see the nice crystal shapes there. How about this? I have, wow, that's really, have some pyrophyllite there. Or some people call it pyrophyllite. I've heard it pronounced multiple different ways. So whatever works. And how about only $18? $18. I want everybody to have something from Georgia. I know, I know. And if you went out to Raves Mountain and you spent all your time, energy, money, and everything, and you found and came back with just this one piece, you would love it. Everyone would be proud. They think you did a great job finding it. And it would have been a great discovery. It can also be bought right here for $18. And it was mined by a friend of mine. So it's almost like being there. And you don't have to spend, or you come back finding nothing. Now, granted, you're going to find something, maybe a little piece of rutile or something, a little piece of lazulite, but it's getting really harder and harder to find things of the great value. Oh, is that what it costs? For you, yeah, $30 to get there. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It is. Just like even what it costs to get into the Jackson's Crossroads and those mines. It's crazy how much they charge. Not counting gas and everything to get to these places. Okay, item number 126 6025. 126 6025. You have not seen the crystal I'm getting ready to show you. You've seen maybe some of its little friends, but not this particular one. I decided to make another one available to all of you. Oh, this isn't what I was thinking about, but it'll work. Look at this. This is, again, definitely not one I've ever made available to all of you. This is, you ought to feel the weight. You ought to feel the weight of that cerussite. Cerussite. Now, if you've heard of that, you should have heard of that. That is the lead carbonate. The lead carbonate. And it is from Morocco. And it is, oh, talk about beautifully fluorescent. I am telling you what, those cerussite crystals will light up like a yellow caution light. Every one of them, you can find everywhere. Every single one of these crystals are. And look at how well formed the cerussites are. Let's see, some of them might be twins, which can often happen. But look at the barite blades. Because they're protected down in there, they show up really well. Beautiful pink blades of barite. And in cerussite, that is looking like facet grade. Cerussite has a spectacular amount of brilliance when faceted. It would really light it up if you facet a stone of cerussite. It would look something like a moissanite by way of the look to the cut stone. This is a fantastic specimen, and if you love fluorescent minerals, then this one is additionally one you have to have. Here it is in my hand, so you get to see the size of it. And this one is amazingly well priced. The bang for the buck, $48 on that. Only $48, and a super opportunity. If you do not have a cerussite, that's going to be one of the best you can get for the size that it is. Now, let me show you something. 126 6325. 126 6325. Remember, I've told you and talked about with Lacucci agatized coral and Tampa Bay agatized coral. Well, with Lacucci coral, you can still mine, you can still find Tampa Bay, Ballast Point. Forget it. It's been extinct for a long time. By long time, I mean decades plus. I went and I looked and I saw if there was any sign of Ballast Point at all. No, it's a park. There's nothing to dig. The water has filled in anything that was. This was a 30 million year old deposit of coral that again became agatized, and with the way the geology went with Florida, became exposed at Ballast Point. No longer there. Now remember, I told you the difference between how you can tell kind of roughly from the outside whether you have a Withlacoochee coral or Tampa Bay. Let me show you this one. When working at the Harris Rock Shop when I was 12 and 13 years old, he would get in burlap sacks of this material, and I had to wear heavy gloves. You see these little things? You step on one of these rocks, you're not going to be caring what's on the inside of it. You're going to be hopping up and down and really, really hurt and cussing at the rock, and then you're going to toss the rock way into the water because you're mad at it. Well, let me show you what you would have tossed. Look at the inside of that. Look at that. These aren't even polished, but they're not even finished. These are as raw as they can get. I was able to get a collection of these, some not even sawed in half, others only sawed, none are polished along the ridge, so they're not fancified up. They are just the real deal. Look at that. Look at these. I mean, so from here on the beach, would anyone have any idea of what is on the inside? No. I've walked the beach, lived on the beach, lived in Sarasota. I know what rocks look like, and they don't look much different than that. And I can tell you, you step on that, you're going to feel it for a long time to come. I have this specially priced today at only $36. $36. And you can finish it the way you want, one side or two, or you leave it like that. Look at how natural that is. And someone would say in your case, what do you have that rock for? That doesn't look very special. And all you have to do is take the lid off. All you have to do. And then you want to talk about shutting people up. It's things like this that make someone all of a sudden spark their interest in rock hunting. It's like, what? You mean that is on the inside of that? It does. You never know what the catalyst can be. And it can be something as simple as a treasure inside of something you never would have expected a treasure to be. And that one is certainly one of those surprise pieces. Now, let me show you a remarkable collector's piece that I can't believe hasn't been scooped up. I think I've only shown it once, though. Let me give you this item, if I can make sure I read this to Mr. Lateef correctly. It is item 118-8224. 118-8224. And it was Raven that picked this out and said, boy, this is gorgeous. You should show this. And look at this. This is, let me see, maybe I didn't give you the right item number. Maybe I did, or maybe it's in the wrong bag. That would be not good. Yeah. Okay, so this is a fantastic specimen, but that is in the wrong bag. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. Yeah, it's been bagged wrong, so I have no idea. So anyway, admire it for a moment, because this is actually a really rare, beautiful type of feldspar in its crystalline form. So we'll have to get that back to you, but let's substitute that number for a stunning opportunity at a really unique piece, and at a bargain for what it is. This is item 119-1724. 119-1724. And let me show you. I've had this tucked away. Only showed it once, I believe. This is a remarkable bow tie stillbite, cabinet quality specimen, and breathtaking, just breathtaking. And look at that. This is everything you would want in a smaller size, classic look, though, for stillbite, with the beautiful, and you should get that curve in the bow tie to the still bite, and then additional crystals. See how they come to that point at the end like an arrow? Then you have this wonderful floret of still bite right there. And then let's see, let's hunt down the selenite. Don't have to go far. Look at the green. And boy, that certainly looks like moss agate that I've seen before. And of course, moss agate is agate or a clear quartz with selenite or opaque quartz like that with selenite or other green inclusion type minerals. But this is a remarkable specimen, and again, one of those that would be bid up well. But I'm offering this now at a huge discounted opportunity, $88 on this, $88. And everyone knows that I am the king of discounts on still bites. I have a lot of you, like last week, took advantage of that stunning still bite. That cabinet quality specimen with a still bite and a pop light. So I was glad to see that. Add to your collection. I need to make those sales on the still bites, the zeolites, and you will not regret it. Now, let me show you. I have next. This is a one of the specimens you have not seen yet, and that someone has to go through a lot of effort to get to. If it is a garnet from Belkis Mountain in Iran, they had to work for it. And as I'm having to do to try to get it out of how well I have wrapped this thing, and we'll see if it survives. Look at this. Look at this. I loved this particular piece, and that's why I held it back, but I'm offering it. Look at that, where you have just, let me put this, a remarkable, look at that crystal. Look at that gem. I tell you what, if I end up selling a facet grade, Raven showed me there was somebody on the internet with a handful with the stones, down in between their fingers, about 5 in each row of Iranian faceted round demantoids. And they were as beautiful as any demantoid I had ever seen. And yeah, did I give you the number on that? Oh, sorry about that. Thanks for asking. That is item number 126 6025. 126 6025. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe I gave you the wrong one. That's probably my fault then. Let me see. Yep, that's my fault on that. And let me get you the right number now that I have teased everybody on this specimen. That it should be on that list. Do you see it? Wow. Well, I tell you what, that will be available next week since I do not happen to see the price, but I have something that'll take your mind off of it straight away. So let's just substitute that one with this. Item number, let's see here. Yep. Okay, I have item number 1218-124. 1218-124. And I can't believe that this is one that nobody bought, especially with the everybody loves silver and box. So okay, everybody, that one will be back next week. So ignore that. And we'll tell Uriel the same. Take a look at this silver box. Look at this. Look at this silver box, 925. And it all, I'm not going to polish up with the price. So just take a rouge cloth, and it's never been engraved. This lid is a really tight fitting lid. So, nothing You can keep it in your pocket. You can keep whatever you want in it. It's a really neat carry-all box or pillbox, whatever you want to use. It is in fantastic shape. It's old, but it is in perfect condition. 14.80 grams, and I tell you, on this, how about this? Only $58. Only $58, and huh? Yeah, emerald green, Belkis. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, was that just from recently? Yeah, wait, was that from recently? Well, is that from like last week's inventory? Yeah, that's from what I just gave you from last week or week. Yeah, that's it. That's it then. Perfect. Okay, this box, $58. We're gonna go right back. Look at that. Excellent deal. And I don't mind if you don't don't take it because I didn't change the price. Silver is going up, and manufactured silver is going up even more because guess where these things are made? Okay, not here. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Okay, showing you the backside of it first. And it even looks great because it has garnets in it. Look at that jewel. This jewel, maybe there was probably a reason why I wasn't probably meant to sell it, because after seeing those faceted stones, let me see the edge of this. This looks awfully gemmy to me. And look at that. When we say emerald green, that is emerald green. Look at that. Wow. There we go. Look at that. That is stunning. So, yeah, the Iranian, which if you're going to find, most people will say Persian, or if they're having trouble telling you where it's from, it's Iranian. Yeah, I think a lot of dealers think they're going to be in trouble or whatever. Look at this gem though. That is, and the way crystal dealers really define value is if the crystal is whole, which this is, it has all its sides, and if it's uh, not naturally nicked. Okay, so it can be naturally having pits or natural have contact places on it, but if it's like from removal and nicked or chipped from being removed from its pocket, that's a no-no. This crystal, it's all there, and it could be removed from the matrix if you wanted to have a wonderful crystal by itself. Pieces like this, remember, can easily be shaped for wire wrapping. This one is good to go just as it is for wire wrapping. Thanks for finding that, Latif, because I wanted to make an opportunity for anyone on this at a really special deal. $48. Only $48, and that is a remarkable opportunity. If you want to know what the diopside is the lighter green, colors like that you'll see like down there on that piece. Excellent opportunity. Now, let me show you. I have, this one. Yes, this one. Okay. So I only have a couple few of these left, and with gold being what it is, item 126 5825. 126, nope, sorry, 126 5625. The printer prints those sixes like eights really close together. Take a look. Now, I'm not going to take these out. They show better as they are. And this is native, natural, North Georgia mini gold nuggets. And boy, of course, Georgia gold is known as having 95 to 98, 99% pure. It's known as one of the purest golds that there is out there. And I've had some of these for quite some time. I was going to use them for jewelry. I actually got them from there's a group of 8 miners, okay? So they work the Chestatee River. I even have it where they came from. And what they do is, out of the 8 guys, they have a floating water dredge, like, mine could be, or it can be a shore dredge with a vacuum hose. Either way, 2 of them each weekend, 2 out of the 8 will run the dredge all weekend. So out of the 8 people, you only have to work 1 weekend. So they put all their finds together, and I have seen their finds. I've bought their finds, and so in now with gold at what it is, it's going to be much more profitable. But when I figured out what they were actually making, besides having a lot of fun in the water and on a weekend, you never know what you may end up finding. But on average, they each made about $150 a day each on times 8. So, they might have been making, $1,200, finding 12 or $1,200 worth of gold, working basically someone working every weekend, long days each weekend. So no, it's recreational. There's always a chance you can hit a spot in the river or somewhere that's never been, mined and dug up, and hit a glory hole and find a lot of money's worth. And that's what keeps people doing it, because of that desire for treasure. So anyway, there's a story to them. These are perfect for use in jewelry, or they're perfect for just keeping them like they are. Sorry for the dust, but that's been the way they've been and kept for a long time. So here is your opportunity. Natural mini gold nuggets. Gold with the pricing that it is well, you can't go wrong. I wish I had all the gold I sold back. And these is at a price that I don't even want to say, because it just sounds too cheap. I'll offer them all for, what was, there's 9 of them. I don't know. Make it $58. I know, $58. That does sound awful cheap. I don't think I probably meant to say that either. So anyway, this is the day. My lips aren't being coordinating with my brain. So it's take advantage of Shawn Day. Now, this next item, oh, and I'm sorry, Lateef, I didn't see what time it is. I know, Chuck, you have to go. Okay. Let me make this the last. Okay, that's cool. So for Chuck, just do this last item. Okay, and then we'll break. So let me put this up there to get everybody entertained. And while you're watching that, and let me get the item number. This is another item 125.9925. 125.9925. This is a piece that I could not believe didn't sell. I only showed it once, and I didn't really, look at these florets of sphalerite. This is Ruby Jack sphalerite. You see the reds and the oranges in this. Look at this piece. Look at the incredible pyrites and chalcopyrites. So this gives you a great piece to learn on. And then look at like this little pocket that open up. I mean, what's in there? More crystals of something cool. But look at this. Look at those sphalerites. Look at that on a bed of quartz, how beautiful these colors are. And you can usually tell the pyrites from chalcopyrites when they're next and near to each other. Remember, you can be joined by marcasites, arsenopyrite. See how some of these are grayish looking in color? That could be like something like arsenopyrite altogether, something different besides just pyrite. Now, when we're looking at this whole piece as a whole, your chalcopyrites are going to tend to be a little bit more colorful. Maybe you see some of these colors in this range, just in general. But mostly, if you know the crystal system, that's how you can tell the best. But this is, look at that, for a really beautiful, shiny display piece in a cabinet, this one would work fantastic. Look, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Dolomite. Oh, that's what this is, by the way. The base of this is on dolomite, and especially when you see the pink and the dolomite that you see right up in there. That's dolomite as well. All right, here we go. Price on this one, it is a remarkable sale, and I'm going to offer that for only $58. Why not? $58. All right, Chuck's got to get out of here. I will be right back in a moment. All right, Lateef was kind enough. Chuck had to go. We're going to do what we call a single shot show and go. In other words, right here, no other focal point. Look at this, but you don't need it. Look at this. This is the estate, antique poison ring, what they call it, and has a great clip on it, black onyx, nice shank, solid underneath, sterling silver with everything being what it is. How about a sale price on this guy?
4. Going back. Oh, there you go.
I know. Yeah, right. Sorry about that. Okay. I thought you were trying to tell me like $400. That's what it sounded like. It should have been. Okay, make it this. Make it discounted. $36. $36. Let's get going. The next item. This was another really surpriser. If you actually knew how rare this item is in this size. Item 125, 1425. 125, 1425. Look at this. The peridot that's this big with those really neat little chromite inclusions that tell you it's the real deal. And well, someone's taped this on. Look at the size of that. The peridot alone that cuts a stone that large is rare. Is rare. If you're a cutter out there and want to recut it, fine. But if you want to learn about lily pad inclusions and how to recognize, see those inclusions there? Natural peridot. It has everything you need to learn about the gem. But remember, the size alone make this a collectible stone. And the origin, Burma, the color, when you get familiar, how do you know what a Burma peridot looks like if you don't have one to compare other ones to? So, yes, it has inclusions, but peridot this size are going to. It is rare size with the lily pad inclusions. This is a giveaway opportunity. And I think I'm going to make it my, again, last chance that I give this away. I mean, I was offering this at a deal. It was $258 at one time. So, not sure where you want to be on that, but that is not an unrealistic price by any means. But let's just do this. Because after this, it doesn't matter. It can't get any less. If I offer that, let's see, round up, $78, $6 a carat. Why not? $78. Who is going to pass that up? I just want to see. I just want to see. I'm just going to be really curious. Next item here. We have item number 125, 5125. 125, 5125. I have something for the gem collector, the crystal collector, the unique collector. You have seen this before. Let's see how many of you would know what it is upon seeing it again. You should know right away because you have been tested on this. This is, of course, a stunning natural crystal of spinel. And oh, that reminds me, I should show you the spinel ring that I just set, but I'll save that for another day because maybe you won't like this one. It's a beautiful pink Mahenge spinel. Stunning stuff. This is etched, which many of them are, which is okay. You mean a perfect crystal would be great, but etching is widely found in many of these. But you can see that it has the bipyramidal shape and what a valuable color. So a collector's crystal for certain. And if you want to pick one up on the down low, on the real inexpensive, make that one only $38. $38. And wow, look at that. For those of you like, see what I mean by the crystal. Let me move that a little forward. Sorry about that. Crystal shape to it. For those of you collecting spinels, that is one that you should have, especially when you get down to how much money it is. Next, let me see what we have. Oh, let me take this out. And let's see what we have here. Item number 116 4324. 116 4324. Ah, look at those. Look at those cabbed garnets. Cabbed garnets. They could be, they're almandine garnet, so the iron garnet. They certainly could be faceted, but they are beautiful cabochons as they are. And I have the two of them. You're going to love this. $18. $18. I know I'm going nuts right now. I am going crazy on some pricing, some deals here, and need everyone to take advantage of. That's the spinel, just setting it right there while I get the next item up. Okay, here we go. I have just a few items left to show you. I want to show this one. Item 124 5425. 124 5425. Now, this is where, again, when you compare crystals next to crystals, it gets so enjoyable. And then when you have them big enough that you can polish and cut something with them, look at this. This is by far my favorite carved fish that came from the well-known Horse Gully. It has an internal crystal. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let me see if this was, of course, intentionally carved this way. And let's see if this light will show it the right way. Not so much. I didn't want to blind the, almost. Let me show this other light, which will do it better for you. And let me put this in, because this is what is so cool and so unique. Now this fish, it's cool and unique in itself, but when they had a particular crystal, they actually worked with it to where, look at this. Look at that. That is stunning. You have a 6-sided sapphire crystal within the fish carving. Let me show you the other side. And look at how well defined that actually is. So that was, of course, intentional. I would like to think that the carver had, see the other colors to this? You have those classic greens and yellows. And let me get that in there. So look at that. Isn't that neat? Is that not neat? That is one of a kind. Truly one of a kind. And yeah, isn't that cool? So look at the carat, 9 carats. And the sapphire quality is remarkable. Now, let me just show you what it looks like in general. It is wonderfully green. And look at that. And yellowish. But the center is that blue sapphire. So, yeah, take advantage of that one. I have it now, sale price, which I shouldn't at all because there's not another one like it with that large internal crystal, but I'm marking it down to only $77 on that. And when you figure the math on it, that comes out really, really inexpensively. It's obvious even to see the blue crystal without even backlighting it. It's that strong of a piece. So with that one, and not wanting to take up much more of Retief's time, I do want to show a ring that is certainly worthy. This is item number 1213-124. 1213-124. Here is something that looks very much like high quality British Columbian nephrite, but it's not. This is super high quality Pennsylvanian antigerite, which is a type of serpentine. Look at that. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the silver ring. Look at the nice weight to the silver ring. Size 9. I even know the mine it came from, the Line Pit mine. It's old stock. Old stock. And I am going to make this even less than what it was. I'm making this entire ring $38. $38. So hopefully it will fit you, because I wouldn't want to be able to size that with that type of stuff. And the last I have, I'm going to show, is a couple of belemnites. You guys loved those opal pieces, and I am willing to offer just a couple more. Let me look at item 122, 6424. 122, 6424. If you have not gotten in on a belemnite yet, well, you need to. Look at this jewel. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the colors in that. Now, a belemnite, remember, is like an orthoceras, or it is a type of cephalopod. So you see this? This is the way it's supposed to be. This is where its innards were. This is what would be the back end basically, because it had little tentacles that came out this way, just like an octopus or a squid. So they're kind of related to a squid, and they would shoot themselves through the water going this way. So when you see this in them, that is common because the soft body parts, of course, wouldn't petrify, but the shell parts would not only petrify, but then in the right conditions, opalize. And look at that. I'm talking about all the way. This is Australian. This isn't Ethiopian. Look at the red fire in this down here. You're looking at, well, you have the full blend of colors in a crystal opal piece. Look at that. And wow, wow. Look at how large that is. That is one of the largest opalized fine quality belemnites I've seen. And I have had this piece out of all the other ones that I've sold. It's waiting for the right collector that wants a significant belemnite piece, because I am still offering this at a crazy price. And even on top of that, I'm going to discount it. Now, I really shouldn't. I should hang on to these till we do another live show, something to that effect. But so all of you are getting a first discounted opportunity, let's say, on some of these items, this being one of them. Offering this one for only $168. Look at the weight, 36.60. So $4, what? Less than $5 a carat, more. So $5 a carat, anywhere in there, who cares? It's so cheap. All right, item number 122-6124. 122-6124. These are your last opportunities, the last belemnites. Take a look at this one. Take a look at this one. And the fire, the color. Look at the clarity to it. Now, when you see the white in it, that's just your natural clay that runs even in high-end common opals. We always have to fight with little spots of clay and working around them to try to cut them out. Look at the green wave of color there. Look at that green wave. And look at that. That is actually a pattern that is very unique, not something I normally even see in Australian opals. Then look at all those other blues and the crystalline nature to the opal. That is certainly crystal opal. Wow, look at that. I tell you what, here is your chance again. What a wonderful pendant. And you know what? Who would know that you're wearing something that is, well, they were wiped out with the big the big impact at Chicxulub for the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. So these were wiped out then too. But prior to that, they lived all the way to 235 million years old. So you're talking about, I usually average these at around 100 million, 150 million year old creature right there. Price on this guy, again, discounted opportunity. It's a 13 karat piece, so significant weight, and making this one a price I shouldn't, but I'm going to. I want some serious buyers to come in on this, scoop it up, because it's going to be only $118. $118. And you know what? I have no method to the pricing. I have no idea. They're beautiful, and I know the value is so much beyond it. Okay, I'm going to make this the last item of the show out of respect for Latif and the company. 122-5824. 122-5824. As I look around, I'm sure I'm going to run into other things. I'm going to say, wow, I wish I would have showed that. But as Latif says, there's always next week. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Wow. This is a stunning piece. Look at the clarity. And again, every different angle is going to look at the reds in this, give you a different view. And you know, there may be views I miss altogether by way of a flash of color. Look at, see that? If I wouldn't have, you know, say my finger was over that at the top or something, we wouldn't have seen it. But it's there. It's there. Look at that. That's almost like a cat's eye of a color bar going right through there. This isn't Ethiopian opal. This is not hydrophane. This is the way it is, the way it always will be, completely stable and valuable. It's not, these are fossils of animals that don't live anymore. There is no more of these going to be made. Look at that. Look at that. See what I'm talking about by the color? This actually, out of all of them, I think it was the most expensive one that I had valued, and I think it had to do with the color in this. And I could look at the clarity points, because if you consider that these could be cabochoned, and they do cabochon them, and they market them as the fossilized, you know, belemnites or opalized belemnites, and that's fine. That to me should bring a premium for them to be a opalized fossil. I mean, opalized clams and whatnot that I've seen go for fortunes. These belemnites are just as special. They just are affordable. Well, they were. These are at least a decade old, maybe 15 years old. I've had these a long time, and I'm only offering a few now and then. See all the colors in this? So this is why I see now, I have not shown this one before, and I see why it was and is the most expensive of them that I considered. So this is taking advantage of Shawn Day. So this one, 25 carats. Wow. How about a huge sale price on it? A huge sale price. And make this one only $198. $198. I'm gonna show you right there. That was the price on it. $388. Well, you can see at only $15 a carat, it was $375. This is old. I've had this. $17 a carat, $400. So my regular price was $388. Belemnite with red flash. These are old notes right there. And so out of all the ones in comparison, that is how I valued this particular piece, because of the extensive amount of fire and color and shape in it. It makes it a very special belemnite. Look at that. Look at that. So I'll just leave it kind of like right there for you. $198. I think that's a great item to leave for the last item of the show. I will be right back with trivia. All right. Well, that's all, folks, as they say. Until next week. Let's see. So we're getting into June. And hey, we've had some surprisingly cool weather still so far here in Georgia. The rain helps a little bit. So I always am thinking, what can I still get out and do before the heat sensitive side of me puts me inside for the next few months. But I have got such a hankering. Yep, that's the southern term. Hankering to find gold that I did bring up several large containers of that, well, not concentrate, but where I had found where the gold had concentrated in the creek. So I had intended to run them through my sluice during the hot summer months, because remember, I have got an entire indoor setup to run my sluice, and I can do it. It's something I should patent. I really should. A method of recycling it, and I can do it on 40 gallons of water. In other words, why I say that is because out west in desert environments, there is a whole host of areas that have not been prospected. millions of years ago, these areas were alluvial. There were creeks flowing down these canyons in these desert environments. There was gold washed down through these creeks, through these arroyos that are now dry. So the ability to be able to scoop dirt into a dredge with a constant flow of water, recirculated, filtered and recirculated. I got the whole thing down. I just need somebody to aggressively encourage me to follow up on my very inventive method of doing it with recycling water. So if I actually took that and if I lived out west, I would have a host of places, no, in the wintertime, to go that I think no one else would be doing that kind of thing. In other words, areas that haven't been prospected with that method. A lot of those methods, those dry arroyos, they're using metal detectors and they're finding nuggets. You can find nuggets, as small as a BB with a with good metal detectors. So that sounds kind of fun, but they only go so deep. With anyway, I'm thinking gold. So I have some of this leftover, or not leftover, but material I pulled up 5 years ago. 5 years ago, then I got COVID and I got all behind. So I have really got a hankering to run that material. So we'll see if I do it. I would love to get some of those mini nuggets that in that one offering I'm offering that size. Oh, I'd be thrilled. So anyway, sometimes I talk to you, and all I'm doing is thinking out loud. That is my brain just clicking away, thinking out loud, and I just start talking. So, as Latif well knows. Okay. All that said, I'm still going to see if I can't set my indoor sluice up for this summer so I can do some prospecting still. All right, here we go. Didn't have time to put together another What Am I? We may do it for next week, though. That's wild that you guys came down to the very last item. Getting all those extra credits, but I want a perfect score. But to all of you that participated, great job. Great job. And you know what? If you participated and only got one right, you would have still gotten a great job because you tried. You tried. And that's to me, that's a lot of fun, whether you win or not. It's like panning for gold, even at a tourist operated place. You put yourself out there, you tried, get the bucket that is and you'll have a lot more fun where they kind of salt it, as they call it. Put yourself in that environment and see if you don't get that fever, if you don't already have it. And it's strong when it hits, because I tell you what, it hit when I was 11 years old and I am still running a fever. All right, here we go. 3 questions instead of doing the What Am I? And let me see if I can read them. Here we go. The first one: what mineral shown is a lead carbonate? What mineral shown is a lead carbonate? Second question: when green zircon loses its crystal structure due to radiation, what is the process or outcome called? So you can either use it as an adjective, the word as an adjective, or use the word as a adverb, something like that. Anyway, or a verb. So what mineral shown is a lead carbonate? Is the first one. When green zircon loses its crystal structure due to radiation, what is the process or outcome called? And question number 3 is, what is the name for raspberry colored grossular? What is the name given to raspberry colored grossular garnet? Okay, so good luck to all of you. And don't forget to make sure you step on a little bit of Mother Nature whenever you get outside. Now, for people like Miss Barbara in Brooklyn, might be a little harder than, say, for Raven and I, with nature and Mother Earth all around us. And but for other city dwellers, it might be more difficult. But you know, they make paths, these concrete paths and these walkways for humans, right? To make our walk to the office better, easier. To me, even though we're not supposed to walk across the grass, I feel better if my feet make contact with Mother Earth, even for just a moment. Because, you know, you talk about being grounded. There is truly a scientific electrical component to our bodies and the earth. Do you know one of the worst things you can ever do if you have a car battery is to sit it on a concrete floor? Don't ever do that. Put it up on even a few little bit of wood, raise it up off a concrete floor. It will deaden your battery. It is makes a negative connection and will draw your battery down. That tells you right there, because our body is an electrical system. If we stood nothing but on concrete, I don't know, just a thought. Maybe it just would power us down. Step on Mother Earth. She will ground you, she'll keep you centered, and keep you energized. And with that, God bless all of you. Thank you so much. Please continue to support the show, like and subscribe. I need everyone, and I need everyone. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart to the top of my heart. Thank you from Raven, Lateef, Chuck. We wish Asif well. And I can't wait till I see you all back next Monday. Rock and roll. See you then.